Hey everybody, it's John Hope Bryant, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Operation Hope, also of Bryant Group Ventures, author of Love Leadership, The New Way to Lead in a Fear-Based World, which is a bestseller, and that's my sort of philosophy on leadership itself. And then How the Poor Can Save Capitalism, Rebuilding the Path of the Middle Class, the solution for the 100%, not the 99, not the 1, the 100%, which is my last book, which is still a bestseller and translated into 5 languages. I'm very proud of that book. Hopefully you'll read both of them. But I'm most proud of being founder and chairman and CEO of Operation Hope. So look, I'm in Washington, D.C. You can, I just landed from Detroit. I'll be in 5 states and 1 country in 6 days. I was in Norway, it's actually 7 countries. I was in Norway on Saturday, Sunday morning. I was in Amsterdam on Sunday, back in Atlanta Sunday night. Had a date with my wife, hung out with the family, Bishop, and our dog, our chocolate lab. And then I was in Monday, Janae, help me out here. Monday I was in, that's really sad, Denver. Janae Roscoe, my government relations chief, is in the back seat. Say hello, Janae.
Hello.
Wave. They can't see you. They can't see your face.
Oh.
She's fabulous. She's a genius. The youngest person ever to speak at the Democratic National Convention at that time, when Bill Clinton saw her and asked her to come work in the White House for her. And she built my government relations office here from scratch. She's an amazing human being. Has a sister who's an identical sister, identical twin, who's a missionary in Africa. I'll get back to Janae in a minute. But anyways, I was in Denver on Monday and then Detroit on Tuesday. I'm gonna do a video later today on why I was in Detroit. Really special announcement. And I'm in DC today with Ambassador Andrew Young. Hopefully I'll get him on tape. I'm hopefully to do that today. You may get 2 or 3 of these today. He's coming in an hour, so I may try to surprise, get him on tape. The guy who is the right hand of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And just living the closest thing we have to Nelson Mandela is Ambassador Andrew Young. And then tonight we go to Miami for the Black Enterprise Entrepreneurs Summit, where I speak. The video I did on that on Sunday has over 120,000 views and 1,000 shares. So check that out and share that with your friends. It seems to be a hot message. So today's message really is personal. People ask me a lot, do you have any children? And I think I surprised them, maybe even shocked them when I say, yes, I have 2 billion. I have 2 billion children. And it is crazy, but I don't give up, all right? By the way, I see everybody signing on, and I will answer questions either while I'm online or when I sign off. Okay, so people ask, do you have any children? And I say, yes, I have 2 billion children. And it's not a mistake, it's not an accident. I mean exactly what I say. There's the 2 billion children who don't have fathers, who don't have mothers, who don't have role models, who don't have nurturing, who don't have direction. There are 7 billion people in the world and about 2 billion young people who don't have the benefits that many of us have had of having a mother and or a loving father, a roof over our head, food on the table, but most importantly, guidance and support and encouragement about who they can be and what they can do. And I just decided that the world was my family. That's why I refuse to just talk about black people. That's why I refuse to just talk about white people or Asians or Latinos or Indians. I did a video on how racism is stupid. And I'm not sure people got it, but I said that, you know, it's a scientific fact that 99.9% of all our DNA is precisely the same. It's not my opinion, it's a scientific fact. But we argue over 1/4 of 1% that governs eye color and skin color and eyebrow, your hair color and all the stuff that is like 1/4 of 1% doesn't even matter, right? But we obsess about what is not important and doesn't really matter, our uninteresting differences versus our amazing similarities. And we're one family, folks. We're one human family. And I decided to make the world my family. I'm a global citizen, to quote my friend Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum. I'm a global citizen. I've been to 100 countries. One of my proudest achievements is Quincy Jones would say, to go, you have to go to know. You don't know people until you go and you're in their environment and you understand them and you take time to respect and appreciate where they're coming from. But more importantly, you have to engage, right? If you love something, it's going to take work and energy. And we can't just all be about our family, our lives, what's going on in our houses, right? We can't just do this Donald Trump thing of saying it's me against the world, and I'm every other word out of Donald Trump's mouth is I, me. I'm great. I'm going to make the world. I mean, this guy just drives me crazy, and he's just playing on people's fears and playing on their insecurities and playing on their financial stress. And I'm going to do a whole video for the connection to come back. But I really want to focus on this topic of children. Like, I've got children by nurture, not by nature. And you think about that, there's a great quote: we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Deepak Chopra was a person that I got the quote from, but he got the quote, I'm sure, from a philosopher from the 19th century, a European philosopher. I'm going to repeat it. We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And so energy matters, relationship matters, what we do matters, right? And so we're all in this thing together. And this perception of family, right, is you have people in your physical family that you can't stand. Let's be honest about it. You got people that you are related to that drive you out of your mind. You got people, you have an uncle, everybody got an Uncle Boo Boo that you don't want, your nephews or your nieces to hang around alone because you're afraid for their safety, right? And so he may be or she may be related to you, but they're an embarrassment, right? Meanwhile, you meet some total stranger who treats you better than your own family does, right? Because we're all family. So I think that we've got to be brothers and sisters to each other. We've got to say I love you to each other. We've got to be kind to each other. Either we will learn to live together as family, or we will die individually as fools. And so I have no regrets, right? In fact, I'm very proud of my life and think that the Operation Hope and Global Dignity and all the iterations of Operation Hope and the entities we've created and the 2 million clients we've served and the $2.5 billion we've invested in underserved neighborhoods, the 30,000 volunteers, the 200 board members, plus the offices that we're opening every week that's changing people's lives. These are my children, right? This is my legacy. These are my siblings. These are this is my family. We're building a new family, and that's my legacy. You think about Oprah Winfrey. Women love Oprah Winfrey. They love to talk about Oprah Winfrey. She don't have any children, right? People with kids and husbands and wives and whatever, they love Oprah Winfrey, but she doesn't have any children and she's not married. But she's this great role model for people around the world, and no one can say she does not have a legacy. No one can say she doesn't have children. These kids that she has adopted essentially at this school in South Africa, whose lives she has changed. We got people having kids and are not fathers. We got people having children and are not mothers. This whole, mama, I'm a mama's baby. That's my daddy's baby. What the heck does that mean? That's just nuts. That's my daddy's baby. Oh, is that the phrase, Janae? Mama's, that's my
baby mama.
Baby mama. That's my baby mama. That's my, what the heck?
Baby daddy.
A baby daddy. It just drives me crazy. What do you think that makes the child feel like, by the way? What do you think that is going through the child's head? Oh, that's not my father. That's my baby. That's baby daddy. I mean, not even, they're not even claiming me. So, and then we wonder why our kids are screwed up. Then we wonder why our kids are depressed. Then we wonder why our families are not working, because we're not taking responsibility. People are having children like they're trinkets, like they're little bauble on a keychain, right? This is not like what you do on Tuesday. No, this is like a lifelong commitment. And when you're not kind to a child, that child hurt people. So if you're not a good adult, if you're not a responsible adult, don't think you're going to raise a responsible adult. If you are an irresponsible person, you're going to end up raising and bringing in this world an irresponsible person, and that's a sin. So I didn't want to not show up to the kids, baseball game or not. I didn't want to disappoint you, and I got to be on a plane going wherever to try to help the least of these God's children. So I just never thought there's been a calling in my life, and I never thought that my life was really just about a picket fence and a house and a dog, and that's a mission for a lot of people. That was not just my mission, and I'm lucky to have a family that supports my mission in life. But I think about Janae Roscoe, who's with me, and Janae and I were just having this conversation, or Mary Haggerty Airsom, who works for me, who don't have physical children. But what did Janae, you went and did this, you went to one of your nonprofits that you served on recently, and what did the kids say? Lean over here so they can see you, Janae.
Hello. They call me their shero, their financial literacy shero.
And this is a kid you didn't know, right?
That's right.
I mean, so, I mean, like, watch how you live your life. It may be the only Bible anybody else reads. You are being a role model to others, and you don't even know it. And you can't tell me what Janae is doing in communities, because she doesn't have her own children. She spends more time in the community. She spends time on nonprofit boards. She has mentored thousands of kids. And Janae, are you comfortable with your life?
Very.
Repeat that. Say it so they can see you.
Very.
And if you, and by the way, if you are lucky enough, dude, if you're lucky enough to find this woman and can get her to marry you, you are a lucky dude. But you can't come at her half stepping. I asked my mother, Juanita Smith, one day. I said, "You gonna get married again?" She says, "Yeah, I may get married, but if I do, he's gonna be a BMW."
Black man working.
A black man working. That's right. She's gonna check your credit score. She's gonna make sure you got a job, right? You're responsible. She's not going to have. You can't be coming to step into Janae Roscoe crazy or sideways, or to my mother. And there's all these examples of Kat Cole, who ran Cinnabon, who is now president of Focus Brands. And I know you're recovering, Kat, so feel better, my friend. She doesn't have any children, and she's not married, but she is a mother to countless children all around the world. She's a role model for women. I mean, you can serve and find a way to be a contributor. But here's the question. A lot of people are having children for the wrong reason. They're having children for themselves. It's not about the kid, right? They're having a child because they want to feel important. They want the kid to I don't know, look up to them, or that's my legacy, right? That's not why you have a kid. That's not even your kid. You are a terminal for a higher power. This is God's child, and you are a trustee. This is God's child, and you are a steward. So if you're a mother and a father, your job is to give the child yin and yang, love, compassion, joy, support, encouragement, to bring that child in the world so he can or she can serve the Father and contribute in the world, because we're at war, right? We're at war with nutcases and idiots and people trying to do harm in the world. It literally is a war between good and evil. Pentagon, which is what the Jay says, we're in the Pentagon, which is why we keep having these connection problems. Your job is to plant new positive energy in this world. So my job, I think I'm doing it, is to plant some new positive energy in this world, and I try to do it by showing up in people's lives and leaving a legacy that will say, when I'm gone, there's my footprints in the sand. And I think the best way I can do that is through Operation Hope, and through Global Dignity, and through Hope Corps, and Hope Coalition America, and Hope Business Box Academies, and Internship America, and Hope Inside offices, and all my employees and volunteers and heroes and sheroes and people like you, whose lives hopefully we are positively impacting. So I love you, and we're going to grow a new family and a new movement called Civil Rights. By the way, a lot of leaders who had children, those children actually resent those leaders. It's really unfortunate. I'm not going to name people I know, but Gandhi's kids, they didn't really like Gandhi. Dr. King's, not Dr. King's children, Nelson Mandela's children didn't really know him, because he was spent 27 years in prison. But you can't tell me that they didn't give their life for something meaningful. You can't tell me that their life, because they lived and gave their life for others, that their legacy is not worth it. You can't tell me that, right? Even if the kids have a problem with, their own kids have a problem with the way they live their lives, they had no problem with it, and God had no problem with it, and the world is appreciative that they were so selfless, because the world literally is better. Dr. Dorothy Height didn't have children, right?
No, she didn't.
A National Council for Negro Women, but you can't tell me she didn't have an impact in this world. All right, I see a lot of questions and comments. I see Amber Richardson says, "Preach, I don't have kids yet, and I'm starting a faith-based daycare in Birmingham. My passion is kids and young families just like you. I want them to reach their goals." Thank you. Dima Salim, good evening, brother. That means that they're on the other side of the world. Good evening. Brian King, hopefully we can get you one day to speak to our community. I'd be honored to do that. This was like Alabama. He's in Alabama. Yeah, we have offices in Alabama. I'm coming there. I want to spend more time there. David Taylor, but they have kids too. I'm not quite sure who you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about some of the leaders I mentioned. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can have physical kids, you can have kids by nurture or nature. I'm not saying one is better or worse. I'm saying you make your own. I'm just trying to read some of these comments before we sign off. Chipper Edwards, Tupac said, "Go to the hood, get the leader of the streets involved, and you will change the world. Come get me and I will show you." Idris Bashir, I signed up to help push business in a NOX Academy. Love you. Oh, I love you back. Thank you. JSO, try to come to the Baton Rouge River Center. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Alan Bailey, Pro, my daughter gave me her love and time. Her mother took her away, and for years tried to keep our relationship from growing. Now my daughter thinks Dad doesn't care, but I always let her know I love her. Look, just send your daughter a note, man, and call her, once a week, and let her know she loves you. She'll remember those calls and those messages, irrespective of what anybody else is saying about you. Are there resources in Chicago? Yes, we have a Hope Inside. We have a Hope office in Chicago. Go to operationhope.org. That's Rich B. Idris, Dominique, man, come to Minnesota. Okay, I will. Thank you. How can I be a part of the movement? Go to Civil Rights, the Civil Rights Movement on Facebook. Go to Operation Hope on Facebook, or go to Operation Hope website. Check out the Freedmen's Bank. Read the book. This movement's real. Become a volunteer. Alan Bailey, positive lessons. I'm trying to sign off, but I see all these questions and comments. I'm just trying to also respect those too. I have one more video to do before I sign off. I have a meeting coming up here. CJ Johnson, thank you for all your inspiration. No matter how hard it may seem, I'm still pushing. There you go. Sergio Ward, do you have an office in Orlando? We do. Orlando, Hope Inside with SunTrust Bank. Just so coolin'. These comments are coming in so often it's hard to keep up with them. Omar, Germany, once again, thank you for the information you provide on a daily basis. I signed up to the 700 credit score community. Yes! Fantastic.
That's your kids.
That's it. That's it. Okay, I'm trying to name some names here. We have Turtle Lafar, Philip Clark, Russell Tekua, Mary McMahon from Alaska. Watch how you live your life. It may be the only Bible anybody else reads. Go, girl. Love your energy. Chipper Edwards from Greenville, Mississippi, I think. All right, love you guys. I'm going to sign out. I'll answer the rest offline, but I have one more video I want to do that's really important. All right, peace. Civil rights.